Hello, and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue.
And Colin Cunningham.
And today we're talking about a virus, not a COVID virus. That's for darn sure.
A computer
Yeah, this one
virus.
hits a little close to home, with the virus going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, after all those, Borg machines we've been fighting the past few years.
Yeah, fortunately, this virus has absolutely nothing to do with a regular virus. In fact, it should probably not even be called virus, even though that's what the comic was called.
They kind of explain it. Yeah, this is a Dark Horse comic, which I did not know until, I was wondering why Dark Horse was credited at the beginning. But,
I did my due diligence, and I flipped through the 4 issues of the comic book before
Really?
recording this podcast. It's fairly similar, just bigger stuff. Like there's planes crashing, the big monster at the end has 2 buzzsaws for hands, and jump from boat to boat in the finale.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Colin, you picked this movie. Why?
Colin's like, I need something that's like Supernova.
Kind of.
It's kind of similar to Supernova.
It fits in line with Deep Rising or Ghost Ship. It felt very similar to Ghost Ship.
So I have dates here. Event Horizon, 1997. Deep Rising, 1998. Virus, 1999.
Wow.
So they probably was directly or just hey, that was in the box office.
Was shot in 1998. So
it was supposed to come out summer of 98, and then they pushed it. But yeah, so I'm on this Facebook group called Crew Stories, and people just actual crew members talk shit about stories from the industry and whatnot. And then somebody had posted a picture from Virus. I think it was the special effects guy, Steve Johnson, touching up one of the machines, and people were kind of going off on Donald Sutherland and what a miserable prick he was while shooting this movie.
And you can tell in the movie, that's for darn sure.
But yeah, it got to the point where he was dictating to the director what lenses he could be shot on, focal lengths and stuff like that. They're oh my God, I got to check this out. And it's a movie that I completely forgot about.
So had you seen it before?
No, I've never seen it. So I just watched. I know the trailer. I'm pretty familiar with it. But
I have some shocking trivia for you guys. Do you know whose favorite movie this is?
Oh my God!
Who?
Take a guess. Someone that we know.
Joe Bob Briggs?
Steve Kostansky. How could you know watching this film?
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, he loved this.
I thought his favorite movie was Robot Jocks.
It's the style of his creatures through and through in this picture. The biomechanical kind of robot things.
Yeah, Manborg.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that.
Manborg, the big, well, not big, but it's big.
Yeah,
in the movie.
he loves to do those kind of just kind of organic things over metal and broken. And
yeah,
I remember sitting and watching this with him and being this is bad, man. And he's oh, well, good special effects, which, I'll give it. Good Steve Johnson special effects that just kind of stand there. And
I got to say, they're fantastic. The designs, but just how intricate and detailed they are.
But we'll get back to it, I think, as we go through the plot, that it could not be shot in a more boring way by poor old John Bruno.
John Bruno, and I'm why do I recognize that name? This guy, holy shit, he's a visual effects guy, and this
he's James Cameron's visual effects guy.
This is the visual effects artist director curse right here.
He's turned down the Titanic to make this movie, to do the visual effects of the Titanic.
Yeah, this guy, holy shit, what a career. On his IMDb page, he started out as an animator in 1970. That's insane. And he directed one of the segments in the original Heavy Metal movie in 1981.
He directed the one that's all rotoscoped. The one where it's the spaceman falling from the sky.
Yeah, it's called Soft Landing, I think. And then his VFX credits are insane. He worked on the original Poltergeist, Ghostbusters, The Abyss, T2, all the way up to Avatar. And that Tom Hanks movie Greyhound that just sort of came
he's
out.
Still working to this day.
Yeah,
so he's still
that's the one with Tom Hanks and a robot, right?
No,
it's actually not. Tom Hanks in a boat.
I think it's World War II or something.
Oh, I'm thinking of another Tom Hanks movie where he's with
You're thinking
virus.
Of Finch.
Finch. All right.
Yeah.
That's out
what
now,
are you doing,
right?
Tom?
I don't know. So this is the first feature. I think the last feature too. He co-directed that T2 Battle Through Time, which I think is a ride.
What is that? Oh,
great ride. Oh, Universal.
Ride.
No, yeah, Universal's. No.
Yeah, it is.
It's a Disney one. MGM, maybe.
No, it's Universal because I saw it.
Oh, and it's a great ride.
It's really good. It's like a 3D Terminator ride where you go into like this theater and it shows like, John Connor's talking to the screen. Come on.
So did you ride it?
You don't ride it. You kind of just stand in the theater.
Oh,
wearing
But it's like a big
watch it,
show.
kinda.
Like there's an Arnold impersonator that like rides out on a motorcycle of like explosions go off in the theater.
Yeah, they come in and out of the
Whoa.
stage and stuff like that. And then these robots. And then they fight the T-1 million at the end.
That's right.
And then it comes out of the screen. It's like a
my
3D
God.
movie. It's so funny.
Which begs the question, and I feel like we've discussed this recently, where the Terminator's like, I knew him in college. We were dorm mates or something like that. And it's like, wait a minute. I have a lot of questions.
The T1 million?
No, I think another Terminator who just blows up with a shotgun.
It's interesting, like how like the process of going from movie to ride, and like how they're often like directed by like film directors.
Yeah. Well, James Cameron actually directed it, and Schwarzenegger was in it. The entire cast was in it. So I guess he co-directed that as well.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, and he never directed another movie again.
And
Well, I
came
think
to
maybe
Virus
he
and
realized.
went,
Yeah.
I will learn none of the lessons James Cameron taught me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Well,
maybe back to working with James Cameron. Maybe I can
I
learn a few
liked
things.
Virus because it was so stupid.
It is very stupid.
It's a really it's a fun bad movie that nobody talks about. Maybe it's not the greatest, but
It's a little dull.
It's funny because it's so
Yeah.
the performances are terrible. Everyone's terrible, and some really cool practical effects.
Yeah.
If this was made in like the mid 80s, I feel like we'd be like, yeah, but because it's the late 90s, there is that sheen, as Colin said, of dullness over it.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
very dull, but I was very, very shocked to learn that it was 1999 because at the end, when the giant robot is CG all of a sudden, not bad looking. And I'm
mean,
wait
it
a
didn't
minute.
look great.
Good animation, and I was like, oh shit, I must have thought this was like early 1990s or something, like 94 or 95. So I was kind of shocked at the quality of the VFX.
Was it 99?
It was 99, yeah. So, and it's Phil Tippett's studio that did the effects. They're always known for their amazing animation.
Yeah,
they
he
did
does
Bugs and
everything.
Starship Troopers. Great animators.
But there's not a ton of CGI in this, thank
No,
goodness, because it just wasn't. It seemed like CGI just wasn't quite there, and I could really tell when it was not.
You could.
the stop
Well,
or
anytime,
not stop motion, but like puppetry or whatever.
anytime when the robot is actually moving, it's CG.
Unless it's
The
just
big robot at the
basic.
end. All the other ones just kind of stand in the hall and they can't really do too much.
That's what I was saying. Like, why don't they just run the other way? It can't really get them. I know they're on a boat, but okay. Here's my major problem with this movie. It all takes place on a boat, and that poster really makes it look like a space sci-fi thing. And we're in space for like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is really funny. So we open up on this Russian ship in the middle of the ocean, and I guess they're doing a data link up with the Mir space station for some reason.
Yeah, it's like
Don't know
a
what's happening
big space station.
They introduce like the Russian crew, and then this Russian woman who comes back later in the movie. I don't know why she appears to have like boned everybody on the crew. Like the captain is like, Nadia, and he's like feeling her shoulder, and then she's hitting on the guy on the Mir space station, and like she's putting her pencil in her mouth and like
Isn't like one of them her husband?
I don't know.
I'm not sure which one.
I don't know. Well, she's clearly like hitting on the Mir space station guy, and they're
She's
like,
just
oh,
flirty.
Nadia.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I guess.
Yes, she's a terrible actress. And like, yeah, then
Why would you
everything
single
just
her
starts.
out?
So like,
Out of all
It's
these
the classic
people.
April, just, the axe comes down on one actress per movie.
Oh my God.
it's a
And
what is it? Internalized misogyny.
Yeah, that's right.
I suffer from that. But yeah,
gotta
so
lash out.
we got a anomaly that just starts like floating towards the space station,
Yeah,
and that looked kind of cool.
It almost looks like one of the
Silly.
creatures from the Abyss. It's like this purple and blue glowing.
They just recycled the elements that they
Yeah,
had.
they
They're
did.
like, just use it for the opening.
Which is funny because I was reading the trivia today, and they did recycle some stuff from the Abyss. The model ships.
Oh, really? They're
Yeah.
from the Abyss?
They're just like repainted, and I guess
Oh.
they just like
And you know who else recycled whole scenes from this movie? Jim Wynorski.
for
Really?
Really?
Like, you just used
for
the footage?
oh yeah. So Jim Wynorski went on a run for a while in the early 2000s where he knew somebody at like Universal or one of those companies, and they would just sell him whatever footage that he wanted as long as like no actors are in it. And so, I mean, the one that
amazing.
I've seen is this lame pirate movie, but it starts with an action scene where Treat Williams is driving a car in a red shirt and a brown jacket. Well, that's weird. It's because he cuts in the action scene from The Last Action Hero.
Yeah. I think you posted that on Twitter
I did
a while
post a
back.
clip
And
of
I
it.
was like, oh my God.
They even do the shot
audacity.
of Treat Williams going like, whoa, when they do the jump.
That's ballsy. Come on.
And so the virus footage appears in The Thing Below, for a 2004 film I've never heard of Jim Wynorski made.
That's hilarious. So what is it, just like the ships in the storm or something like that?
I feel they probably used some special effects stuff too, if they could.
Oh,
That's crazy that you
funny.
can just buy like footage.
I don't
from
think he should have
movies.
been able to, but someone signed off on it. So
I feel like it's more
It
common
happened.
now. I've heard more and more about that, like just studios like selling stuff that they didn't use as long as it's not too recognizable. And people
yeah, I don't
like
think
pointing
anyone
at
thought they would be as brazen as Jim Wynorski with the entire
The
sequence.
Last Action Hero. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, this anomaly comes and just it just like
Why is Treat Williams dressed up like Darth Vader?
he's like, I was going to a costume party. Anyway, this anomaly it like blows up everything. And
Yeah,
it
it kind
like absorbs into the ship, right?
Yeah, it's like it's how the Fantastic Four got formed. It's
Yeah.
it like electrifies the space station, and then the space station beams down the signal to the ship on Earth. And I
And
guess
it kind of
infects-
like falls to Earth, right? Or just the signal goes to Earth?
the signal goes to Earth, and it's absorbed by the ship. And I guess it's like a computer virus that gets into the ship's systems or something like
It's
that.
very much like The Thing,
yeah,
where it
kinda.
came from space and then it goes to this like, industrial crew and it like starts like reproducing. Only this time it's machines.
I was hoping you would say this time it's personal.
Well, but then it's like not spoiler, it's machines blended with human parts.
Yeah. Well, the movie
hard
does
to explain.
The movie does a good job of spoiling itself, like very early on.
Yeah.
But first, we're introduced to it's like this salvage tug called the Sea Star. It's in the middle of this storm. It's like a hurricane, and it's towing a ship of like cargo
It's got a
containers.
huge thing of cargo that Donald Sutherland refuses to let go.
Yeah, they're
he's
like-
really, really obsessed with it for some reason.
Billy Baldwin, who I did not know was in this movie. It was like a secret Baldwin. I was like, oh my God.
Billy Baldwin was having a great couple of years. He was in Backdraft. He was in Sliver, the William Friedkin film, I think, Joe Esterhausen. And he was also in Flatliners.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Wow,
Flatline.
And
so that's quite a run.
Only thing I know him from reading his IMDb other than that is he has a really funny role in The Squid and the Whale where he plays the tennis coach.
Oh,
I
I
haven't
saw
seen
that
that.
not too long ago. I don't even remember him being in it.
He's the guy who's like, I think he's like, come on, man, come on, bro. And Jeff Daniels is like jealous of him because he's in a relationship with the boys' mothers.
Yeah. That's a really depressing
don't-
movie.
But I mean, you not remembering Billy Baldwin is in something is probably pretty normal for Billy Baldwin. He's like, yeah, people don't really remember me.
He's the pretty Baldwin.
he ain't that
How
pretty.
dare you say that when Daniel Baldwin is standing right there with a more rotund Alec Baldwin?
He's like what
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin will become. He's like the Baldwin of future.
Oh wait, so are
Future
they
past.
like, yeah, it's like a Christmas Carol. It's like Billy Baldwin is young Baldwin. Daniel Baldwin is, I guess, but who's Stephen Baldwin then?
He's like the one they don't talk about. He's like the,
Yeah.
He's like the chapter we cut. I know he's deaf.
The lesser.
he's the one that they chain up in the attic.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Igor Baldwin. Leave him alone.
He's the experiment that went wrong, the cloning experiment that went wrong. So he wants the captain to cut the cargo container ship loose because it's going to drag them down in the storm. Donald Sutherland is not having it. Donald Sutherland, I don't know what accent he is doing in this movie. It's like 1 minute it's like the sea captain, the next minute it's like Irish for some reason.
And then it's just his normal accent.
And then it's just his normal accent. I don't know what is. Oh my God. He's just like testing the director because, it's like first time director. He's just like, I don't care. Let's just see if he's going to call me out on any of this.
Yeah, the character is drunk, and I think he was drunk.
I don't. Yeah,
I think so. He has absolutely no respect for this movie at all, and it is blatant in his performance.
Oh yeah.
We haven't even mentioned who stars in this film. It's Jamie Lee Curtis. And oh boy, I feel so bad for her in this.
Well, she has said publicly, I was reading comments about this movie, that it's the worst movie she's ever done. She's like, it's a stinking pile of shit.
Let's look at her IMDb and we'll be the judge of that.
There's got to be at least 4 Halloween movies that are worse
She
than
also
this.
admitted to trying to get the director fired because the movie was bad.
Yeah.
She thought the movie was bad.
And she wanted him replaced with Steve Miner, who I think directed Halloween
Get
H2O.
a real auteur on here, Steve Miner.
Hey, you could do worse than Steve Miner, but
yeah, Mr. Soul Man himself.
yeah, and I mean, she's giving it her all in this as much as she can.
Yeah.
There's only so much she could do. She's not like super cheesy like the rest of the.
She's
actors.
she seems so out of place in this movie.
And she turns into like the screaming damsel in distress that has to be saved at the end.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets saved by Billy Baldwin, and like he's like, you gotta go out of here. Anyway, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And Cliff Curtis, another Curtis.
Cliff Curtis, who just gets, I mean,
Yeah.
every time I think about this movie, he just kind of gets knocked off screen.
I
It's
know.
like, where's Cliff Curtis go? I don't know. Anyway.
But like at the beginning of the movie, which is kind of where we're at during the storm, we almost lose Cliff Curtis because the anchor goes into their boat. Oh wait, no, that's later,
yeah,
right?
that's
That's
much
after
later.
the storm,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We're
yeah.
still
This is a film,
on
I feel like we're gonna get a lot of stuff all over the place
because it's all one location.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
exactly. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, the bridge.
Are we in this hallway scene or are we in
Exactly.
sick bay? There's
a-
only so many
It's
places.
a lot of dark hallways.
We also skipped my favorite character, Marshall Bell.
Oh my
Quado
God.
from Total Recall, and the Weasel from Starship Troopers. He's like, we gotta get out of here.
Who's
yeah,
playing a
it's
similar
Quado.
character in this movie.
Yeah, I think he can only really do one thing. He's playing the not as charming Kevin J. O'Connor role.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I can see that.
Who's that?
That's the guy from
Blade Runner.
The Mummy, you would know
No,
him
no.
from. He's Benny.
Yeah, you mentioned that when we were watching that. Yeah,
Come on, man.
yeah, he sucks. He's there to be like the cowardly guy.
He's so cowardly in this movie, but it's like, why would you even have him on the ship? Because at
He
one point-
lasts so long. Too.
He does, which is
know.
so shocking. You expect him to die immediately. At one point, he's like afraid of like getting in the water too. I'm like, why are you on a boat?
For 25 years, Donald Sutherland says.
Yeah,
I guess the money's good. I don't.
How does Donald Sutherland and Marshall Bell like survive that long on the ocean?
Yeah.
It's Three Stooges rules. You just don't ask any questions. They just have this job, and they've always had it.
It's like the first time you see Marshall Bell, he's like drinking. He's got this flask of whiskey that he's chugging on the bridge.
So he's a drunk too.
He's a drunk, too.
We got two
You got
drunk captains.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre.
But anyway, so the storm is just insane, and they do end up losing the cargo. And Donald Sutherland is beside himself, and you never find out why. Like, yeah, I guess he doesn't want to lose the money he would have made.
Well, his lack of reaction is so funny because at one point Billy Baldwin wants to cut them loose, and Donald Sutherland pulls a gun on him, like he's about to murder Billy Baldwin. So he doesn't lose
the
this
scene.
cargo, and then seconds later the cargo ship sinks, and then Donald Sutherland just goes, "Oh."
Different from the comic book. In the comic book, the Billy Baldwin character blows up the cargo with a flare.
Oh, really?
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he must have been like secretly smuggling drugs or something, because he is like, we can't lose this cargo, and they're like, it's us or the cargo. Like it's a horrible storm. It's life or death. And speaking of life or death, he's so upset about this that Donald Sutherland almost shoots himself with that gun.
This is my favorite scene in the movie. And the reason for it is, it's one of my favorite things of old washed up actors that are trapped in genre films sometimes have a scene where they basically reference that they don't want to be in this movie. And in this one, it's Donald Sutherland looking at a photo of his young self and going, I failed you, lad.
See, I was like,
Almost
is that
as
his
he-
son?
Meta commentary on the fact that he's stuck in virus.
Yeah, we didn't know who that was.
And then seconds later, when they cut back to him, he's putting a bullet in a gun and sticking the gun in his
Getting
mouth.
out of virus before.
I love that. He's got the gun in his mouth, and then they're like, Captain, we found a Russian
course.
ship. And he's like, I'm busy.
Of course, knock, knock, knock comes at the opportune time. And yeah, so they find this big, like, Russian ship.
Yeah, I think they see it on the radar or something. So it's the ship from the opening scene.
Is it like an ocean liner or something?
No.
I don't know what an ocean liner is.
No, ocean liner is like from...
Is that like a cruise ship?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's big, but it's not that big.
it's pretty
Well,
big.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis knows what it is instantly just by pulling a book out.
It's-
She's like, it's the Russian liner.
What is
Yeah.
this book? Like what?
Russian ships and where to find them?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The
I
big
guess
book
so.
of Russian ships.
Yeah, she says...
The big book
she,
of Russian ships.
She looks Russian, and then she like just opens this book up right to the page, and there it is. There's like a picture of this thing.
It's like how you can tell the make of a car. Is that it?
I guess, but she's like, this many crew. It's got parabolic dishes on it, and blah blah blah. And then they specifically mention that it has like advanced robotics facilities.
Top
on
of the line. They keep saying top of the line.
So don't be shocked when you literally see robots building themselves.
I'm like,
It's probably
why
the
would they
top
say-
of the line robotics.
Yeah, it's like, why would it need I think they say like 5 robotics labs or something like that on this ship. It's very
That's
weird.
insane. And I was like, why the fuck are they doing robotics in the middle of the ocean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who
Maybe
knows what the hell the whole plan was.
International waters, April.
I guess.
They can do
We
whatever
can
you want.
experiment with short circuit looking things.
Yeah,
Essentially,
short circuit mixed with like
Wall-E.
the Matrix, like squiddies and stuff.
A little bit, but there's a lot of like wires and stuff that look
like the kind of like multiple.
But that's
red
the thing.
eyes.
I don't know if those were there already or if that was
don't think
all
so.
the virus created them. So there was maybe just a bunch of spare parts in the robotics lab.
I think it's implied that the virus just like uses any of the scrap that it finds around it.
Is that in the comic, Justin? Any answer on
No,
that?
there is no robots already there. Yeah, the virus did all that work.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So they board.
Yeah, they board the ship. I guess they're like a salvage vessel. They've already lost like all this precious cargo, so they're like, "Hey, ship stranded with nobody on board." Then the guy says it's like worth $300 million.
Yeah, that one guy's like really, really happy, but he cannot stop smiling like ridiculously. And Donald Sutherland is like the same thing. He's like, we're going to sell this ship. And I was like, what? And then Colin explained to me that's something that you can apparently do.
Well,
is sell it back to the government.
Jamie Lee Curtis, well, that's what he says, yeah, but Jamie Lee Curtis says something about maritime law that I guess it's like any salvage that you find, and as long as nobody's alive on the ship, you can like take it back to shore and whatever, get money for it, sell it to somebody.
I mean, Donald Sutherland thinks it's a great idea. And then
Yeah.
he's like,
Yarr.
and then Jamie Lee Curtis is like, well, if it's really abandoned, we could find somebody on this ship. And he goes, let's hope we don't. Or she's like, something about, he basically says like, I hope everyone on here is dead.
Yeah, she's like, what are you talking about?
And
What
if
does that
they're
mean?"
not, I'm going to kill them. That's what was unsaid.
As he's loading up his gun.
And now we enter the everybody walking around hallways
Oh
for
my
at
God.
least 20 minutes.
Get used to it.
They're discovering the ship.
But I think it's implied that you kind of meet the surly crew members. We've got like Cliff Curtis. I was going to say Cliff Richards, but
Cliff Curtis is
Cliff
named,
Curtis.
what's his name?
Like Maki or something, or
Taki?
Pico.
Pico. Yeah.
On IMDb, it's Hiko.
Hiko.
So,
And Squeaky. We haven't mentioned Squeaky yet.
Julio Oscar
yeah.
Machozo.
Guy who's in like a bajillion things.
Yeah,
He's in a lot of Robert Rodriguez stuff, late period Robert Rodriguez stuff.
Yeah, I was like, as the movie went on, I'm like, I know this guy. I'm like, he looks like.
Oh, he's in so many
He
things.
looks like if you took Steven Seagal, Joe Mantegna, and Kevin Pollak and merged them
He's
together.
got a Kevin Pollak thing going on. I'm not so sure about
Well, he's
Steven
very
Seagal.
small, I guess, so that's why they call him Squeaky.
Yeah, and I think that's all the characters we mentioned.
And then
Nope,
there's
we missed one. We missed Sherman Augustus as Richie.
yeah, Richie. He's the black dude, the engineer.
Richie, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we forgot to mention that Cliff Curtis has like badass tattoos
Yeah,
all
he's
over
got
his
these like
face.
Maori tattoos.
Pretty sweet.
And actually using his New
Yeah.
Zealand accent.
Yeah, he never gets to do that. At least not in anything I've seen.
I don't
of
think
him.
I've seen him in anything where he gets to use his accent.
Yeah, so that was fun. I like Cliff Curtis.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. Yeah, so now Baldwin and Squeaky are walking around the ship.
It's just funny. This is a funny sentence.
Baldwin and Squeaky.
It's Squeaky just walking around, two buds, Laurel and Hardy of the 1999
Oh my god.
deep rising ripoff film.
Yeah. This takes forever. I don't know. They've got to somebody got to do a super cut of just people walking in dark hallways. It's probably an hour and 20 minutes of this.
And they run into
movie.
these little machines, and it has to be dark so they can kind of hide it,
This is so annoying because they go because they've discovered that the power's off on the ship, so they go to find the power. They go back to the engine room or something like that, and then they turn the power back on, and the movie just spoils everything. It shows the robotics lab with all these robots.
They're all just right there. Well, it does take 40 minutes to get to that point.
Yeah, it's true.
I
It's
guess.
true, but it's just okay, how about some suspense?
And they do not blink. They're like, hey, there's robots that are building themselves. And William Baldwin's like, yeah, okay, come back, though. It doesn't really matter.
All right, I mean, this scene, though, when you see them all moving and stuff is really cool because there's all these, mechanical arms and, little, machine-looking things that kind of look like bugs. So much.
We get a much better look at it later when Richie and Marshall Bell are, again, walking around the ship. Everybody does it in twos in this movie. But, you get a quick glimpse of it here, and then they show one of these, little kind of bug robots that's, running
and
around.
Billy Baldwin's like, all right, come back. And they're like, okay, but what if we went and poked them a little bit? Which they do.
Of course.
Very annoying thing. They've given the robots this pig squeal.
Oh, yeah.
sound.
That was so annoying.
It's so shrill and loud.
And it's just we gotta make it sound like a monster somehow. But it's just over and over. And it doesn't sound mechanical. It sounds organic.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the point. But it was annoying.
Our cat did not like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he
What
often
if
does.
it was meowing like a cat? It was like, meow! Meow!
Yeah. You might not
Classic
like that
cat noises.
So now
those robots are meowing.
Yeah, now they're the
Woof, 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 woof. Why is it always a pig squeal? Why not a dog or I don't know.
An ox or a cow or something.
Meow,
Yeah.
meow.
it should just be the Wilhelm scream.
Just over and over. Or that other scream that's I
think it's the Howie. Is it the Howie scream?
Oh, terrible.
So they've got to maneuver this ship. So Cliff Curtis is getting the tug. I think Marshall Bell is probably driving. Probably a bad idea.
Yeah,
and
he was.
Ooh, the ship has come back to life. I guess it's in the computer system and drops an anchor right through their ship.
Now, this effect looked pretty cool. Or maybe they really did it. I don't know. It's it goes breaks right through the wood and stuff.
Yeah, I
It
wonder.
looked good.
It looked like a full-size mock-up of the ship.
Yeah.
The one thing, the practical stuff in this movie, the robots looked fantastic. The miniatures do too, but you can tell the scale is off a little bit.
You can tell they're miniature boats, although Colin was saying the miniature ship is probably still huge.
Huge, you have
not really a miniature.
Anytime you're shooting with
big
water, water doesn't scale very well. It's very easy to tell when water is when you're shooting in miniatures.
So they probably had a pretty big tank.
So you have to build them really, really large. Yeah, but you can kind of tell, but
still was a really good model,
Yeah,
right?
looks good.
I think it was. I love that kind of stuff. I don't mind when you can tell, because
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, look at the little the artistry and the little details that they did.
yeah, they do a really good job. Yeah, so the Sea Star
Sea Star.
is sunk. Cliff Curtis is injured as well. He can't move.
Yeah,
the
and
ship
cowardly guy doesn't help him.
The ship is sinking, and he's putting his arm out to Marshall Bell, help me! And Marshall Bell
runs
goes,
away.
He's only 3 feet away from him.
Yeah,
too.
and
There's really no reason not to help
And he's
him.
looking at him, and he goes, I'm gonna go get help. And there's nobody else on this tug.
Yeah.
So they're all running
an
to help
asshole.
him. But this is the funniest thing. Billy Baldwin does an ass jump. He jumps ass first over the railing into the water.
Well, that's how you protect your legs, I guess.
I guess, but he does this ass jump. It looks like he's gonna do some wrestling move or something like that, a power bomb on Cliff Curtis. But then,
I mean, Billy Baldwin did have that 10-year wrestling career in the outsider circuits.
but he does the ass
The
jump.
Baldwin!
And then they cut to the very next shot, and he's just going straight in with his leg straight down. So I was very disappointed.
Okay. Well, then that's
I think he just wanted to show off
continuity
his ass.
Probably.
Oh, do you think he's been working out? He's like, I got virus. I got to show the best parts of me to be hired in some other sexy thrillers.
This is your moment.
Yeah.
He's like,
Has Billy Baldwin been trapped in like an NCIS show? That feels like
That sounds
where
right.
the
feels right. Yeah. I know Daniel Baldwin was on one of those shows.
Do you know that Chris O'Donnell has been doing one of those naval shows for 15 years?
Really?
I
just
had
trapped in
absolutely
one.
no
like
idea.
Jag?
Yeah, something like that. How is there so many naval crimes?
I don't.
That's what I want to
I
know.
don't know.
I've never watched the show. I never will. So I just I see it's like, naval crimes, Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
They found.
I guess grandmas or grandpas like watching it.
Oh.
It's not. Oh yeah, he's been on NCIS. I wasn't even joking. Los Angeles from 2009 to 2022.
Holy
Wow.
shit. That must
294
be,
episodes.
to land one of
my
those
God.
shows as an actor is like gold mine. You're seeing dollar signs.
But you have to be in the same show for 10, 15 years.
You like
It's a paycheck. I
whatever.
guess.
It's
Yeah.
a steady paycheck. You know that thing is going to be watched by anybody that loves that shit. So,
Anybody over the age of like 45
exactly.
or the sick.
Oh, Matlock's on. It's
Yeah.
like, I'll put on the NCIS whatever. Old ladies are really creepy because they always watch this like true crime shit, and they watch all these like murder shows. And
Yeah,
they
my
love that
grandma
shit.
used to watch. Was it NCIS? I don't know, one of those.
My mom's always watching
Yeah.
those like murder mysteries and true life documentaries.
So it's either
and
that or boat crime. Sea
Nautical
sea
crime.
Yeah, are they all nautical crime? Like, why else would it be?
I don't know.
Or they just have to solve a murder on a ship.
Or maybe like on a naval.
So if it's a murder on a ship,
Well, then-
they have to solve it.
Now it's like Murder on the Nile.
crime boat.
People that are fans, there's always a fjord, that are fans of these shows are like, you guys don't understand. It's not always a boat. Sometimes it's in front of the boat.
Yeah, or on the dock.
Well, it could be like on a naval base or something,
Maybe.
How many murders are happening on naval bases?
Probably a lot, actually.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah, let's be honest.
They just you sweep them under the rug.
So there's NCIS Hawaii, NCIS New Orleans, and
my
NCIS Los Angeles.
That should keep like 3/4 of the actors in Hollywood employed for
It's
the
like
next 40 years.
That and the CSIs, like.
Oh yeah, they're different shows, right?
Yeah.
Now they've got like those like fireman shows. It's like Fire Squad.
Yeah,
or
there's,
something.
like,
Are they all fire-based mysteries?
Fire-based
Yes,
crimes.
there's like a fireman show. There's a police show. There's like everything.
That'd be amazing. They're like dusting
Coast
for
Guard show.
yeah, they're dusting for fingerprints while like the building is on fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg has been in one of those. Oh no, he's on Blue Bloods, different show.
Oh.
But he's also been there for 12 years.
Like a cop drama.
It's win-win for an actor. It's like steady work that pays a lot of money. Nobody, no one's going to notice that you're on a show like that because people in the biz don't probably watch that crap.
Yeah,
so
but like
Guys,
still get time off to do your movies now and again.
oh, your movies.
Your movies. What, you laughing?
Donnie Wahlberg's not making any movies. Let's
he's
be
not,
honest.
no. And neither is Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Wait, I just showed you a poster of a Billy Baldwin film. Just take a look at it and we can discuss.
Oh my God.
Number one,
Eyebrows.
Holy Jesus.
look, a Tubi original. I've never seen that before. That's very funny.
War of the Worlds Annihilation.
Great time.
Wow.
Billy Baldwin looks like he came out of Simone or something like that on the cover.
He looks like he's been merged with Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah.
and then he has Jason Momoa eyebrows.
And there's some great special effects in the background.
And wait, so the Earth is destroyed in this
Yeah.
movie because that's what's on the poster. And number, I guess, 7. Is War of the Worlds a series? Like, is this an IP people love?
Sure. I mean, why
Hey, it's in the
not?
public domain, so why not?
War of the Worlds, Annihilation. Oh, maybe it's an adaptation of that 80s prog rock War of the Worlds album.
Oh yeah, who did that? I remember hearing that.
It's someone famous, and that prog rock album is great.
I don't know how I don't know that. I love prog rock.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you should check it out. I'm sure you could find it on Spotify.
yeah, my
No
friend.
problem.
Who did it? Oh man, I remember listening to it at work, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Well, you're not a prog rock fan like I am.
I don't like the prog rock.
And it's like a musical too.
Yeah, it is.
April.
Okay,
like
I need to listen to this.
And was it the War
It wasn't
Machine
like
sang?
Frank Zappa, was it?
No, it's a guy named Jeff Wayne, and basically he's only famous for the War of the Worlds album.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm interested. All right.
Back to
let's get back to
Virus.
this
Back
movie.
to
Okay.
Virus.
Well,
Well-
we don't need to include every scene where they're walking down dark hallways.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Let's
Well,
get to the action.
Squeaky is taken. Our beloved Squeaky.
Yeah, and then they're looking for Squeaky the rest of the movie. We gotta find Squeaky.
But there's no suspense. It's like you see the robot like bug thing that's running around in the tunnel, and he hears the noise and he kind of sticks his face in, so you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's like no attempt even at like building tension or anything like that. So he gets
I know it wasn't him, but Squeaky, the actor in this, with his big bushy mustache, just reminded me of the guy in UHF. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie.
yeah.
The guy who like had the pet
He's
show?
like, take that ridiculous thing off. And he's wearing like a big hat and he rips his mustache off.
I just saw that not too long ago.
Good movie.
That was a pandemic rewatch for
I
us.
saw that in the theater.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we should vote UHF as the 100th episode of No Such Thing as a Bad Movie.
That's a
We'd
good
just
movie.
be talking about how funny every scene is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Weird Al has never not been fun.
Yep.
True.
Back to Virus.
Yeah, Squeaky's taken, so now, they've got to hunt the hallways. So now Richie and Marshall Bell team up. They come across like a weapons stash on this ship. What the hell was going on this ship?
We'll never know. One of the things we also will just never
The
know.
Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like rocket launchers and everything. And
Yeah,
then
rocket launchers.
And then they find it's like this missile bay or something. And Marshall Bell's like, "What are these giant tubes that go out the ceiling?" And Richie's like, "Oh, they're ejection tubes."
Keep note of that for later.
Yeah,
Wink,
it's like,
wink.
oh, they can hold one person each. I guess it's like, I don't know, if the ship is going to blow up. No spoiler.
I thought maybe it was like an ejection for like a missile. Like it was like a shooting thing for a missile.
He specifically says, like a missile tube.
Yeah.
But he specifically says it's like, oh, it's like a emergency eject system. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
And then
It
he
would be
looks at the
funny if like
camera.
Jamie Lee Curtis's like skinless body is just ejected from the tube.
Yeah.
It's like,
she gets
this is
shot
not made for human beings.
into the air. So spoilers, she might use it later. Okay, so let's get to the sick pay scene. That's when things really start to heat up.
Yeah. So yeah, they bring Cliff Curtis to the med bay lab or whatever it's called.
Yeah, because his
And-
leg needs to be stitched up.
First of all, so they're like, wow, 300 million. We're going to divvy it up between the whole bunch of us. So it means like $3 million each. And Donald Sutherland is asking Billy Baldwin, like, what are you going to do with your $3 million? And he's like, buy an island. It's like, what island can you buy for $3 million?
And
Well,
99.
a businessman called Jeffrey Epstein's island is currently up for sale.
Probably.
Are there
cost
islands
more than
that cheap? You could like take the $3 million and, put a down payment on a house in Toronto.
In Toronto.
I mean, that's,
Hey, this was 1999, man. The dot-com bubble hasn't burst yet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And Donald Sutherland's like, yeah, thank God everyone on this boat is dead. And just when that happens,
Oh, it's like
someone comes out of the closet and starts shooting them.
Nadia from the opening.
And she's just spraying bullets everywhere. It's
Yeah.
surprised that nobody got hit.
Shockingly, Epstein's island sold for only $8 million in 1998.
You're kidding. Wait,
Well,
to
so-
him?
To him. Like, he
Okay.
bought it in 1998 for $8 million.
Okay.
So you could probably get a smaller island for $3
Yeah,
million.
a tiny little one.
Yeah, maybe. But you still got to build all the infrastructure. That's where the
New
that's where the money
Patreon
is.
goal. No such thing as a bad movie island.
Yeah, buy us an island.
We're coming at you from Ireland.
Now they're building islands.
Yeah.
That's what the rich people do now.
Every day we do a show where we like trudge out on stage at No Such Thing as a Bad Movie Island.
What, so like people, it's like, oh, I know.
I guess we're like animals in a zoo.
Yeah. So are you implying that like tourists are going to come to this island
That's
just
where we
to
do
see
our
us.
live podcast show.
and they're going to
Yeah,
come to
that's
see
right.
the show? Oh my God. So it's like when you go to Hawaii and you go to like the Polynesian Cultural Center and you go to see the shows and all the pale sunburned people come in to watch.
Yes.
And we'll be like, have you guys ever seen The Room? Well, we're talking about it again.
we've got 3 shows a day at noon,
Oh my
3
God.
and 5.
3
Come
shows a
back.
day.
That I would put a bullet in my mouth. I would.
You feel like Donald Sutherland. You're like, I failed you, lad.
I'd be looking at a picture of me from high school. I failed you, laddie. Oh, what a
All right,
nightmare!
well-
That's what I imagine like having, a show in Vegas would be like, or something.
Or at like the zoo
Oh,
or something, or in
yeah.
the circus.
Vegas the zoo. It's basically the
Vegas,
same,
it
right?
kind of is like a tourist zoo. You gotta.
Well, have you guys heard about David Copperfield's show?
He's got an island, a creepy island.
He does, but like his show, like he interacts with an alien and he goes back in time.
Yeah, I
and
wanna
he
see
says
that.
goodbye to his father.
We were trying to find.
Next time, I want to see that.
Last time we were in Vegas, we were trying to find the worst show to see.
Oh, it's definitely that.
And so I Googled
could
worst
be.
show in Vegas, but there is actually a show called The Worst Show in Vegas. And you're like, fuck.
That sounds a little too self-aware.
Yeah, I want to find
Yeah,
one.
you got to go see the Copperfield show, and there's an animatronic puppet voiced by one of the Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Ron.
Not like Frank Welker or anything?
No, it's
No.
I can't remember his name.
Oh,
I'm gonna
God.
look it up now because it's gonna bug me.
It's
But
like
I want to
Yakko.
see. I just want to find like some, off the beaten track magician that's really
Ron
bad.
Paulson.
that's right, Ron Paulson. But you don't want it to be that bad, Colin. You want it to be like really like a polished turd.
Yeah.
That there's like 500 people that, because I could get you a bad magic show like very easily.
All you got to do is go to that Harry Potter bar. Zing.
I believe that Chris Angel cures someone of cancer in every show.
Oh, for God's
Okay,
sake.
we got to see that.
Come
Chris
on.
Angel, I believe, still in Vegas.
We were looking at that
Yes.
German guy, Hans Klock.
Yeah, his poster looked good.
Well, they had these like mobile ad posters, so a truck would drive by with billboards on it, and we always saw Hans Klock, this like long blonde hair that was blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
All the
You
magicians.
do a triple bill. You do Chris Angel, you do David Copperfield, and as a chaser, Carrot Top.
There's
Yeah, Carrot Top was
yeah,
in Vegas.
you're talking about like $1,000 in tickets right there.
Oh, whatever.
Listen,
It's worth
we
it.
get our island. We have a No Such Thing as a Bad Movie Vegas tour
Okay, can't
Yeah.
we just bring them to us?
to our island.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
As long as they pay the bills, because they're rich.
Oh, Carrot Top, yeah.
Okay, I want
Anyway.
to talk about my favorite thing in this movie, and I actually had a lot of things that I liked. The machines, most of all. But
Machines are amazing.
When they rescue Nadia, and she's like incoherent. She can't really put together what is happening. She just says, "You have to cut the power. You have to cut the power." And somebody has a granola bar, and she snatches it out of their hands and eats it like a little squirrel.
Yeah, she does.
and it's insane.
She's like holding it with 2 hands, going.
She looks like a crazy person because she is, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
and it's
really
worth
funny.
the price of admission.
Oh, wow.
So
Put it on the box.
granola bar, my favorite part.
Wow.
Okay, so we need to skip ahead a little bit here. How about we get to the scene where they find this guy who's like a machine man, and they're hauling him into not even sick bay. They're in like the main.
I think it's the bridge.
Place, yeah.
Yeah. Well, first he attacks them in a hallway.
Yeah, of course.
It's right after Marshall Bell and Richie find the Robotics Lab, which is fantastic. There's so many animatronics going on in this scene. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the detail, like everything seems to be moving and like, animated and doing something, performing. And you kind of see these like dragonfly looking robots, but they have like human skin on their wings and stuff. It's really
Right.
gross.
And they apparently smell bad
Yeah.
because guys like, what's that smell? It's rotting flesh, I guess.
Yeah, they get attacked by the captain. I think it's the Russian captain of the ship. You don't see his face, but I don't know. I guess they kill him and they bring his body up to the bridge.
Like, did they just like blow him over? How easy was it for them to kill him?
He is kind of
Like-
standing there. and
He's
you
like
can-
not moving.
You can kind of see that he's attached to like a rig underneath his legs.
He kind of looks like the Borg Queen.
Yeah, he does. Well, wait till Squeaky shows up.
Yeah. So they bring him in, and he's like not moving. So he seems like he's dead. And then they start like cutting him open, and he starts like convulsing. Blah, and then Nadia's like, "He was my husband."
Yeah, he's wearing like his wedding ring still.
Yeah. And he's like rotting.
And she-
so it's like pretty gross.
Yeah, it's so gross. It's like the way the muscle and the skin are like fused with the metal.
Again, pretty good special effects.
Yeah, really good.
Steve Johnson.
Amazing. He did Slimer in the original Ghostbusters.
Oh man.
He's a legend of special effects.
Also a madman, supposedly.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
special effects.
He wrote a book that sounded crazy. He was
Yeah, did it come out?
Oh, yeah.
Like, because it seemed like one of those, like, it'll be $200 if you want
No,
it.
I think
Rubberhead.
Yeah, it was Rubberhead Part 1 or something. He was married to Linnea Quigley for years. He met her on some music video shoot or something.
Yeah, I believe. Oh, didn't he work with her? Because she was she was naked in, like, the Freddy body that famously collapsed during one of the Nightmare on Elm Street shoots.
Well,
Poor Linnea Quigley. She's always naked.
well,
Yeah,
She is.
she likes it, she said.
Yeah.
kind of her thing.
Okay,
So now we meet Robo Squeaky.
yeah. So he basically looks like the Borg.
He literally looks like a Borg. Yeah, it's a very funny scene. But then we're introduced to, like, this bigger robot, which I guess is like the big bad robot.
He's like the king robot.
It's like the queen, the queen,
Yeah, or whatever.
the queen alien of robots.
And he has like a face with eyes. Why do robots need eyes? I don't know.
Well, they need
but
to see, Rachel.
They like also like have a thing where they want to like steal human eyes.
Yeah, they're just
right?
like using us for spare parts.
That's
Which,
what they say.
Well, they get to a computer and they start talking to it, and it has my favorite computer thing where the person like reads out what they're typing. So
What do you want?
yeah.
then-
Yeah. So
and
he
it's
talks
like, we want to eliminate the virus, humanity.
Oh no, human was the real virus all along.
Yeah, and then that guy goes insane. He like
Richie, yeah.
he has some kind of mental breakdown, and then he becomes like a commando. Like, I'm gonna steal all these explosives, and I'm gonna build. He like builds something.
Yeah,
Instantly.
Yeah, he kind of does
In, like, 10 minutes.
He's like the Bill Duke in Predator turn. He's like, fuck this shit, I've had enough. Yeah, and I guess it's revealed he's like an engineer, so he starts building this bomb to like blow up the ship or something. And he's like out of the movie for a little bit.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. So it's at this point that Donald Sutherland, I don't know what the hell he's doing in this scene. It's like this gigantic robot is like smashing down the wall and they're being attacked. And then it just cuts to him and it looks like he's sewing.
Yeah, I thought he was like rolling a tobacco or something.
I don't know. It looks like he's doing cross stitching or something like that.
I wouldn't put it past
And he's
him.
having a ball. He's like laughing in this scene and everything.
Yeah, he's not reacting correctly, which is again, that's Donald Sutherland. That's not the character.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to just do whatever I want until somebody stops
Yeah,
me.
by the end of the movie, Donald Sutherland's like, I'm giving this movie nothing.
Yeah,
This is it.
exactly. Which is what it's quite amusing.
Yeah. And then they all take off, and then he starts talking to the AI again. He's like, "Oh, I'll help you get to shore." It is like the thing, I guess. Once it gets to shore, it'll be able to,
Yeah,
uh,
he doesn't
continue
yeah,
making clones
Donald
of itself.
Sutherland. What is his goal? He wants this ship so bad that
think he
he's
wants the
willing to
ship.
sell his soul to alien robots.
Yeah.
Also, the big king robot kind of looks like General Grievous. The face does.
A little bit.
Anyone?
I don't know.
It was tough because he wasn't coughing. That's the classic General Grievous. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I know.
Those
And I mean, have we
robots.
talked about this? Because in the Clone Wars cartoon that Tartakovsky made, General Grievous is so awesome and badass. And then in Revenge of the Sith, he's like, "Hey, Jedi's, I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah, it was so bizarre. But then, it's set up in the animated show that he got injured or something, and
Yes, like one of his lungs was crushed by a Jedi.
which you
So
do not
he's
know seeing
not a
Revenge of the
robot.
Sith. Well, he's kind of like a
Cyborg.
cyborg, yeah.
Yeah, cyborg.
Okay,
He has a
well,
very
speaking of cyborgs,
Virus.
yeah,
Richie goes nuts. Then we get Robo Sutherland, which is really kind of gross. He like goes down to the robot, like texts him back. It's like, meet me in the Robo Lab.
yeah, it does.
Meet me downstairs. And he comes in the lab, and then they graft his head onto the Russian captain's like body or something like that.
Is that what happened?
I think so, yeah, because he has like the Russian star tattooed onto his
Well,
naked
you
body.
also like you see Donald Sutherland's like naked chest with these like appliances all over it,
Yeah.
and it kind of looks like shit. But
I don't know. I think it's kind of
weird.
creepy, but yeah, he wanted. I think it took 6 hours for him to get into the makeup. He said he was only going to do it once,
Yes.
so they had to get all of his scenes done in one day, so he didn't have to be put into makeup again. I don't blame the guy.
That's really funny.
I don't blame the guy, which explains.
No, makeup sucks.
I know.
I mean, let's be honest. If his face is on the makeup,
Mm-hmm.
he should only be doing one day, and you can shoot around him for the other stuff.
For sure, yeah. And you could tell they did make an animatronic version of him with his face and everything. So,
Also, Donald Sutherland should be like, I'm an old man. I cannot do this.
You know, like makeup, you're going to spend 6 hours in that chair. You know you have to get to, set at like 2 a.m. Ugh. That'd be the worst.
So they defeat Donald Sutherland
very quickly
by shooting a rocket launcher. Oh no, they throw a grenade inside his chest cavity.
Yeah, they kind of,
and then he blows up.
They set it up earlier in the movie that Nadia has thermite grenades that melt.
Thermite?
Yeah, that melt through metal. He is in and out of this movie so fast. Or Robo Sutherland.
Yeah.
I am now immortal. Oh no, my only weakness, grenades.
It's like 2 seconds
Why
later.
didn't I
he's
see
dead.
this coming?
Then we get to see the big CGI monster, which I don't know. The animation is really good, I think.
I like this big monster. He's practical too a lot of the
He's pretty
time,
cool.
except when he's walking
Yeah.
around. He would have been improved with buzzsaw hands.
Oh, definitely. Everything
Oh.
is improved with buzzsaw hands.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland would be better with buzzsaw hands.
But yeah, I like this creature, but I liked it when it was not moving and when it was a practical thing. But
Also, this creature is kind of a weenie. It's like, where are the detonation codes? And it's like, all right, not that menacing, I guess.
Yeah, it should always be like one step ahead of everybody.
it can't move that fast.
When he's CGI, he can.
Kind of. He's like breaking through walls and stuff.
He reminded me of the RoboCop 2 bad guy, Kane, like the Kane robot.
Oh, yeah, but that guy was stop motion
by
in RoboCop
Phil
2.
Tippett as well.
Yep, same
Tippett
person.
again.
Yeah, there you go. He has a very particular quality to his animation, I guess.
Have we gotten to the untimely end of Cliff Curtis yet? I know we hinted at it earlier.
What happens to him?
Oh, yeah, they just like go, they just leave the boat and there's a storm and he gets knocked off.
So they have to go outside in the hurricane, and Jamie Lee Curtis is okay, but then she's like, help me. And then he helps her, and then he falls, and then they don't help him because they
don't even
can't.
react.
They're like, no. So basically, he sacrifices himself to save Jamie Lee Curtis.
We also missed Marshall Bell's death, which is really funny.
Yeah, how does he get it?
Robo Squeaky lifts him up over his head.
Oh, right.
And then the giant robot is behind Robo Squeaky and then punches through Marshall Bell.
Yeah, it looks pretty funny.
It looks good,
It's
yeah.
good. Like, it's a good effect.
It's weird for a movie that is so violent in the sense that like all the creatures are gross, that there's not that much like violence perpetrated on the characters themselves.
Yeah, I expected much more. I think that's the only instance of it, really.
It's off. Some of it's
Marshall
off-screen.
Bell also gets hit with the nails in the shoulder.
yeah,
that's
but
right.
Pretty much
That's
it.
nothing. Yeah, it's all like people disappearing in hallways and stuff, or getting blown up, and it's like off screen, falling off board.
Yeah.
That's kind of lame.
So then the creature kidnaps Jamie Lee Curtis, I guess brings it down to its lair.
Where is the
Where's the
detonation
detonation?
code?
It's kind of like got her
Basically,
hanging from her
yes.
arms, and it's like torturing her to get the information that it wants. And then, I don't know, this like rocket shows up out of nowhere that Richie shoots.
He had it earlier in the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like set up earlier, but yeah, it kind of knocks the robot on its side. They're able to escape.
Billy Baldwin's there.
Billy Baldwin's there as that's what you say in any movie that you see him in.
And I'm also there.
There's
Billy Baldwin's there.
Yeah, you do the like meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing.
Yeah.
You watch like
Billy Baldwin.
War of the Worlds Annihilation. Oh, Billy Baldwin's there.
Billy Baldwin.
he's there. So yeah, they blow up the ship. What is it like? There's only one ejection pod.
Yeah,
or
so
something at the
Richie
end?
is gonna blow the ship up because he has all these like big bombs that he made. But yeah, there's only one left, and I was like, it's gonna be like Supernova. It's gonna be like Supernova, and it was. There's only one left. And he's like, you have to take it. So he straps her in, and then he's like, you have to go. And she goes, not without you. And she just grabs him, and
Yeah.
then they fly out, and they're ejected. And then aren't they on like a piece of wood or something, like Titanic?
Yeah, they're like hanging on to floating debris. But what does this thing do? Like, it didn't look like it's not an ejection, like an escape pod. It just seems
Just
to fire them
flings
into
you.
the air. What does it shoot you like hundreds of feet up into the air?
Yeah.
Like what happens?
We wanted that shot of like Die Hard
Yeah.
2 or Jamie Lee Curtis like going up towards the camera like, oh.
Yeah.
And as people may have noticed, we barely mentioned Jamie Lee Curtis, even though she's technically the star of this movie.
Yeah,
Because
she
does very
she's
little.
the main character, but yeah, she doesn't do a ton.
She just spends the entire movie just being mad at everybody and annoyed at everybody.
Hang on, what happens to Nadia? She gets killed, right?
Yeah, she gets blown up. There's a really great shot of her blowing herself up. I think she like shoots the gas, and then the big monster is holding her, and it cuts to twice a shot of like the monster holding a dummy, and it explodes.
Yeah, I think she helps like Jamie Lee Curtis escape.
Yeah, she makes it pretty far into the movie, and I was like, hey, two females like at the end of a movie. I knew one of them wouldn't survive, but it's like usually you just have the token woman, and
then you
like,
get
she had to be punished for her promiscuousness.
You got Richie, the black guy. He survives like right to the end,
almost the whole movie. Yeah, so that was nice.
He kind of saves the day. So yeah, it's a very weird scene. We see them like floating on the piece of the ship in the ocean, and then
I don't remember what happens. Is that
it's like another kind of piece of debris with like Cliff Curtis hanging onto it, like floating, and
Cliff Curtis,
he's got zombie face.
And Jamie Lee Curtis like comes up, and you kind of know
you think he's alive, but he's not.
Yeah, and then she turns his face over, and it's like it's all skinned, but then he comes alive with the pig screaming sound, and it's a fake out. She just wakes up in Billy Baldwin's arms on a helicopter or a ship or something.
Ugh.
It's like, okay, thanks, movie.
And that's it?
That's pretty much it.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't want like a dream sequence fake out. Put like a sequel setup, like, oh my god, there's a robot on my hand or something like that.
Or something, it's on the ship, and they're gonna go to shore. No.
They couldn't even do that.
No, they couldn't. It's a little dull.
Anyway, I liked this movie.
Yeah.
I know it kind of sounded like we're complaining about it, but I had a really good time watching it. It's not like the best bad movie ever, but I feel like there's definitely enough here. Mm-hmm. It's no Deep Rising, and it is very similar to Deep Rising, but the artistry, and there are some really corny lines. Donald Sutherland not giving a fuck.
Oh my god.
You've got a lot of good stuff here, and I'm surprised that more people don't talk about this or know about it. I'd never even heard of it.
I completely forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh yeah, is that trailer that used to be like running constantly?
Well, another movie that you picked based on its trailer, like
sorry.
Supernova.
All right, I won't do that anymore.
Hey, I mean, I like this movie,
it's
so
working
I'm glad
well
I watched
for us.
it.
I just want to fly.
Justin, why did you watch this movie originally? Because you've seen
I watched
this
it with
before.
Steve Kostansky because he made me watch it. Yeah.
I see. Well, it's good to see where our director's friends' influences come from, right?
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. If you want to email the podcast, we're at nosuchthingAsABadMovie@gmail.com. Consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingAsABadMovie. If you're on the $5 level and up, you get a bonus episode every 2 weeks. And we just recorded one on, the new Guillermo del Toro movie,
Nightmare
Alley. And also, if you're listening to this,
Best Picture nominee.
That's right. And we talk a little bit about the Oscars a little bit. If you're listening to this when it airs, our next episode is our 100th episode. So if you follow us on Twitter, we're at No Such Thing Pod. You can give us suggestions for movies that we can do, and we're going to have a poll next week. So we'll be up for about a week before we actually record the episode. So get on Twitter, let us know what you would like us to review, and when the poll goes up, please vote. And thank you for being with us for 100 episodes.
Wow.
If you would like to find me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at April Atmansky.
You can find me on Twitter, Decloux, DCLOUX, letter J, or on Letterboxd at Justin Decloux.
You can follow me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. So episode 99, Virus. Not too bad, right?
Yeah. Is this episode on YouTube yet, April? Put it on YouTube.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't put it on YouTube because I forgot to hit public. That's what happened that one time, so I'm sorry.
Wow, which episode?
The last episode.
I thought that happens every time you post an episode that people ask that. So.
I think it was the one time I didn't schedule it, and oh no, I forgot to hit public. So yeah, also we're on YouTube, and consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes.
Don't watch us on YouTube. Watch us somewhere else. It's easier.
I was looking at some of the iTunes reviews for the podcast. It's so funny.
We got some great ones.
God.
Thank you for those.
There's some horrible ones. Holy shit.
Thank you for the. Hey, you don't make it to the top without a few haters, right? Anyway, thank you for everyone who's listened, and tune in next week for the 100th episode.
It's like Denzel said. It's like when you're at your best. Mm-hmm. That's when the devil comes for you.
That's right.
Whoa, topical.
I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin Decloux.
And I'm Colin Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.